Hey folks, Chris Dyer at Reborn Martial Arts here in Springfield, Virginia, and today we're going to be looking at our warm-up Taichi Arms and some various applications for the first 4 techniques. So the first one, we're going to start out with our hands and our holding the ball or hold the moon position, and we're going to start out opening the arms in this position, and then as we rock back and forth from one side to the other, we're going to make sure that our hands are flipping position. I go to the right, my right hand opens. I go to the left hand leads. We're going to work on opening our body. Again, this is used primarily as a warm-up to get started. It also teaches us fluidity and movement, rocking my body weight in the first couple postures. The next one that we do, we're going to add on to that with a diving action. So the arm opens, exact same as the first one, and then we'll just dive back. And it becomes this, like a wave crashing back down is how I usually describe it. From there, we'll pull back and press, open, just like our first one. They all build on each other. And then press back, open, pull, and press. Notice that the whole body is moving into each one of these actions. And then the last one that we'll do, we'll dive back, and then we actually come back the same direction. We open, we dive back like in number 2, but then we're going to circle back and do a pressing action. So now I'm warming up my shoulder, body, wrists, elbow, and we'll also look at some various applications for these. Okay, so the first application that we're going to look at is this just shoulder opening that we will do before every class pretty much, just to kind of warm up our shoulders and chest. But also is, if you look at this and we do this big motion, if we start tightening it up, you start seeing this action which we'd use a lot for blocking. So if Mike throws a strike in here, I just check with one hand and the other hand knocks it out the way. This is the exact same motion that we're using when we're doing this big warm-up, only I'm doing it in a much tighter, narrower field. So it's here, 1, 2. If we go a little bit bigger with this, if I catch this arm a little bit higher up, closer toward the elbow, and I do this with a big step in, we have this shoving action that we can use with this big snap towards his floating ribs or up into the body, and we do this as this big press back. It's a great self-defense application technique. If I do it on the inside, so the check happens here, we talk about this all the time, I have to worry about that other hand, but if I do this big step in, you see this in some of our other videos where Mike gets tossed, who end up doing this setting him back posture. We use this a lot. The next one is this diving back in position. Anybody out there that does any sort of wrestling or grappling arts should immediately start recognizing this. We're working for different grips and whatnot. So if we're doing any sort of grappling technique and I want to get underneath his arms, we end up doing this sort of action where I'm dropping down, I'm using that hand flick to move the person's arm out the way, and then I'm coming up underneath. And we'll use these sort of things. We'll go super slow for this. I drop down, I'm coming in up underneath, and then I can use this action for a big hip toss or whatever we want to do from there. Or if I just want to manipulate the shoulder down, coming up underneath, catching in here, going in for sort of a chin-na technique or locking position. So that's this underhooking hand that we do when we're working our warm-up. The next one we do is sitting back and then pressing in. This is more of a 2-part action. And what we're going to focus on is as the strike comes in, I'm going to not so much push the arm out the way. We always talk about this. If I hit the arm hard, I've lost tactile sensitivity, and we know that tactile sensitivity is much, much faster than trying to read things in a visual field. Now we're just kind of throwing strikes back and forth. What I want to do is maintain this contact and actually ride his energy down a little bit. Then after I give him this tug, which we see in the warm-up, we're riding this energy. We're going back with him. We're just redirecting it. When his natural inclination is to stand back up, we then assist that stand up with the following action. So we're going to go super slow, ride this energy as he stands back up. There's my shove. So I'm actually accelerating his already accelerated backwards energy, just kind of pushing him back. And this is where you see a lot of people in videos and whatnot kind of, we laugh about it sometimes, but bounce them away where they're bouncing back. And it actually happens sometimes when the person is just trying to catch their balance. So we'll go super slow with this. As he's going back, I accelerate that action and he ends up sort of bouncing back a little bit. Looks ridiculous sometimes, but it actually does happen from time to time. The last one that we're going to be looking at is where I'm riding the energy or coming around like we had done before with our underhooks, while I'm going to come back for it. And we'll use this if a person like grabs on my arm and I want to break free and then strike with the same hand. So say he grabs onto this shoulder and then we're fighting for a position, he grabs onto this wrist. If I can't do much with this one, I break this action and then I come back and follow up strike. So you notice this 1, 2, it's a snapping energy, coiling my arm back, and then I'm driving back out. So again, we're here, we're locked up. He's got this arm. I can break this hand and then come back for this follow-up strike. So those are the first 4 applications for our Taichi arms that we practice. Thank you, guys.